So guys, Datti Ahmed has come out to say he is in support of the coalition, but he is expressing worries over who is going to be the flag bearer of the coalition, considering the fact that the key players in the coalition have their own personal interests, considering the person of Atiku, Elrufai, Ahmed, and then Peter Obi himself. He said the race will be very tight, and he is still doubting if they are going to allow Peter Obi to emerge as the flag bearer of the coalition. Don't forget that the Obedience have said if it's not Peter Obi, that they are not going to support this coalition, that this coalition is only going to work if Peter Obi has the ticket of the party. And Datti Ahmed is saying that he himself, he is somehow concerned if they are going to allow Peter Obi to emerge as the flag bearer of this coalition. Don't forget that this coalition is actually being, enforced by Atiku and Elrufai. Peter Obi is just being invited because they know Peter Obi has the followership. So they brought Peter Obi so that he can bring in his supporters. But Datti Ahmed is saying he is somehow worried, considering the desperation, in people like Atiku, if they would like Peter Obi to be the flag bearer of the party. So Datti Ahmed himself said for the fact that he attended that coalition meeting does not mean he has joined them. So guys, I think people should really pay attention to the concerns of Datti Ahmed, because Obedience are already saying that they are in support of this coalition, but that support will be 100% when Peter Obi emerges as, the flag bearer of the party. The question remains, if Peter Obi stays there until, the die minute, and then they tell him that they will not give him the ticket of the party, do you think that is going to cause Peter Obi some problems, considering the fact that the decision is supposed to come as fast as possible, whether he's going to be in the coalition or not? So guys, there's a whole lot to unpack in this video. I'm just going to allow you to take a look at how Datti Ahmed has come out to express his worries. He's not hiding it. He said the interest in this coalition is high. Individual interest. And he's wondering if these people will want to put their interest by the side and allow Peter Obi to be the flag bearer of that party, of this, coalition. That is the question everybody's asking. So, if Atiku will not allow Peter Obi to emerge, why are we in the coalition? That's the question. Should Peter Obi just leave this coalition and just focus on building a new party? We've been saying just register a new party. We know INEC want to frustrate, but if we press on that, it's actually possible. Anyway, guys, I just want you to hear from Datti Ahmed himself, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now take a look.
Tinubu saw this opportunity, saw the weakness in Buhari, pumped a lot of money, brought his party machinery, and then injected his own agenda. That you go now, I'll make the name of being a kingmaker. I have made from councillor to governors. Now I want to make a president. If I make a president, I'll make myself a president. That is what happened. Coalition now is playing the scripts of Tinubu. I believe in the coalition, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But you don't have to play the game the way he did.
Yeah, but what is the script?
The script is what I've just narrated to you, Charles. Exactly how.
Yeah, but how does that relate
now, what
to
they
the
think,
opposition coalition?
What opposition is saying, again I repeat, I'm in support of this opposition.
Right.
Now, there are structural misgivings in the coalition as it were today. Buhari was the distant anointed from the ab initio. The convener, Tinubu, already had it, and whoever he enrolled was, understand that Buhari is going and after him I will come. And you have to buy into that. However, we won't stop you from contesting.
Yeah, but
let me finish.
We already got that.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
just that we haven't got all the time
I'm saying,
in the world, so I need to
Buhari was a distant anointed.
Right. You made that point.
This opposition does not have a distant anointed. So there will be a very close gap, and so there will be a very tight struggle. Possibly
right.
A not so clean primaries struggle for it. Now the question is, what will the aftermath be?
So that your real concern is that there isn't someone who is very clearly going to wear the mantle of, if you like, presidential leadership.
Yeah, exactly.
In that coalition.
Exactly. Atiku almost cuts it, but it's not exactly there, because Buhari is what I would call an outlier an unusually high observation in a data set. That's what he was. Now, come to the next point. Again, I have said that there isn't a Buhari in the coalition. There isn't a Tinubu in this coalition. You don't have one
So it's
individual.
a free-for-all, basically, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Right.
You have the proverbs better than I do.
Yeah,
but you're asking the questions.
But let's try and take it systematically.
Yeah.
Okay, so that we understand exactly where you're going.
Yeah.
You attended that meeting yesterday.
Yes.
You've been attending coalition meetings.
I attended 3.
Right. Okay. But that suggests that there was something that was bringing you back.
Yes.
And something that you're not entirely satisfied with in the Labour Party that you're currently still in.
Not so. You can never be 100% satisfied wherever you are. There are misgivings. I really, really wanted to bring Peter Obi back on the negotiating table with the leadership. I wanted everything sorted out, him to remain. Right. And I still, if I have a chance, I'll still do it.
So you're disappointed because he's now said that he's left. In fact, the Labour Party gave him a 48-hour ultimatum. They issued a statement.
You need to be very sure about that if he has left. You need to be very sure.
Well, on his Twitter handle, he said he was now in the ADC coalition.
Yes. Now, technically speaking, being in the ADC coalition does not mean you have left your party. Refer to the meeting of Tuesday night and the communique issued after that meeting. It doesn't say that you have left your own political party. And this is a legal point.
No, I'm not even talking about the ADC, what they've said. I'm talking about what is happening in the Labour Party, who essentially, I mean, the leadership, although there is a divided leadership, but the leadership gave him an ultimatum of 48 hours to resign. And subsequently, he issued a statement saying he had actually left. But let's not get bogged down.
Let's get to the
I mean, what I need to understand, because there are a lot of people who listen to you and want to know what your perspective is on this. And you said you had attended at least 3 meetings, and you were there for that ADC sort of
Charles,
moment.
Labour Party deserves better than being walked away from.
Yeah, but the Labour Party seemed to be walking away from you, not you walking away from them.
No. Labour Party deserves better than being walked away from. Despite all misgivings, we know the hands that are playing each and every party. This is a party that scored, by our own count, over 10 million votes. This is a party that defeated APC and PTP together, irrespective of what the law courts said.
Yeah, but nobody was really taking the Labour Party seriously until you and Peter Obi turned up.
Yes, and equally...
So people are voting for Peter Obi, and they said that they would follow him. The obedient movement have said they'll follow him wherever he goes. So it doesn't really matter what it is.
All individuals in their own rights do have their followers in certain given measures. But in any way, you caught me right in my explanation. Maybe you can bring me back where I was.
Well, I mean, the point I'm trying to make and to understand is the fact that you're essentially saying that there is now a division between yourself and Peter Obi.
No.
Political division.
You guys are too good. Charles.
Well, I'm just trying to understand it. If I'm wrong, let me know.
Don't give the wrong information out there.
Right.
I am very, very much in sync with Peter Obi.
Because there are people who are looking forward.
Yes.
In fact, some people have already started saying on social media that the only ticket that is going to work with this new, I'm just trying to find where I actually made that note. They said the only chance this ADC coalition has of properly challenging and possibly removing President Tinubu from office in 2027 is 1, if they zone the presidency to a southerner, and 2, if Peter Obi and Yusuf Datti Ahmed become the joint ADC ticket for 2027. That's what people have already started saying. So they're going to be monstrously disappointed.
No. You have this power, Charles, of trying to...
Well, it's not a power. I don't have any power.
I can admit today you're somehow dominating this conversation.
No, please. And that's not the intention.
It's like I'm interviewing you. it's like I'm the one interviewing you.
No, we want to hear from you. Please, go ahead.
Right. There's a great deal of excitement, which I think we should not be swept away by in this coalition. You have key players. Peter Obi, I'll call him first, Datti Atiku, and maybe Nasiru Elrufai. And they've come together from diverse backgrounds with a variety of interests. And out of these three, you can imagine that Atiku, Obi, and Amechi clearly are front runners in this. It makes me think, how will the contest be?
That's a good point.
Because they are very close in the race, very, very close in the race. What will the aftermath of this contest be? That's why I made the analogy, the example with the Buhari case, who was a distant outlier very distant from the pack. All these three are very close together. Now, will two others still remain in the coalition if one takes it? Now, you're right. Let's come back to this unwritten understanding in Nigerian presidential politics. North 8, South 8, the rotation. I'm speaking from experience because I was directly involved. And it was part of my campaign speeches in 2022-23. Did you realize in 1819, from the two major parties, not a single Southerner even bought the INEC form for presidency? What does that say? Respect, brotherhood, gentlemanness, and all these things. And of course, Atiku contested in PDP and he won. It was not a question. Buhari was the candidate of APC and, Buhari took the day eventually. Come 2022-23, Atiku was still on the ticket. And now, Peter Obi came out from the south and contested. Amechi contested and came second in APC, second to Tinubu, who is also from the south. So you see, three leading candidates. 2027, the default position thinking also is that it should be from the south. So if Atiku takes it, how will Amechi and Peter Obi take it? Now, for the Peter Obi and Atiku, together they were either rigged out or defeated in 19. Apart, they were either rigged out or defeated in 2023. You come back together, hey guys, who are you playing with? Is this a joke? And the way I take Peter Obi, I think he is much, the position of VP is very big anyway. I wanted to be and I was rigged out. But I think Peter Obi should not be a VP, having gotten a disputed 10 million votes. Now you're starting to understand what I mean.
But he has made it clear.
Now, it is all about, listen, it is all about a narrative that was sold out to Nigeria very quickly. That to defeat Tinubu, it has to be our coalition. Coalition is good. But when in 2023 we defeated APC PDP, there was no coalition in Labour Party. The real coalition we need is in the ballot box.
Yeah, but that's
not a coalition. Not a coalition. Let's stop that. But please, let me get to my point. The real coalition is of votes at the ballot box. You protect them all the way to declaration. You present a coalition of politicians. You open the flanks for being attacked that they are geriatrics, and everything that you said about this. And you open the flanks for APC to be talking their jargon, when APC has worse than what they are saying about ADC. So in reality, what you need are the votes for a credible candidate, for a credible ticket.
Yeah, I think
there is no law
concedes that.
There is no law, there is no principle which says that it must be a coalition. Now that is the narrative that I kept saying. If you are challenging this narrative, you need to be careful. And if you're invited to a coalition, like I was, no level of firmness should tell you that don't go into that. Go and at least listen. See what they are doing. If you agree, continue. If you don't, do what your alternatives are. That is the thing.
But you went there several times. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I mean, it's a dialogue. It's not a sort of monologue. I mean, you went there several times.
Yes.
You went there 3 times. So something must have attracted you back to listen to them.
Attraction.
What I'm trying to understand is, what is the guiding principle of this ADC opposition coalition beyond wanting President Tinubu to be removed from office? What is it about its philosophy that attracted you to it? And is there an overriding cause that kindles a sort of fire in your heart that you think is in the best interest of Nigeria?
There are 2 questions here. One is for David Mark, Senator David Mark. What the principles and everything, please let him explain those things to you.
But I thought you guys were discussing it at your meeting.
We are. That is typically a question for the party leaders to answer you. The second question you ask is, what is the driving, what's attracting me there? The attraction in ADC, which I still believe in the coalition, I believe in and are very likely to work with them, is that coming together is good, especially to chase out APC.
Yeah, but you just said that you don't believe that the way to get rid of the president is through coalition.
No.
I mean, you said that a minute.
The narrative was that they have sold it out to Nigeria that the only way to defeat Tinubu or APC is coalition, and that is wrong. A clean political party fielding the right candidate will beat APC hands down, even in the presence of a coalition.
Well, let me make this point, okay? I mean, there is nothing...
Did you get me? Did you understand me?
I understand what you mean, but...
Let me say it again, please.
But no, I understood what you said. There is nothing stopping the Labour Party from fielding a presidential candidate.
Good.
There's nothing stopping the PDP. You're saying, I mean, nobody ever said they were going to be stopped.
Right, but I was talking to you about the narrative.
Yeah.
Which has gone on that is leading to the excitement we saw yesterday.
But that's okay. That's for them. They're the ADC.
Yes.
They are a coalition.
Yes.
And it is their job to promote their coalition.
Yes.
But I completely agree with you that that's a way. It's not the way. I mean, there are other ways. So I don't want to get bogged down in sort of that.
Yes, this conversation is going, it's becoming like a chitter chatter. But do you know that, for example, if Wike were to finish destroying the PDP and leave,
right,
PDP could go and join this coalition? Do you know that's possible?
Well, it depends on if the coalition want the PDP to join them.
Of course they will welcome. Of course they will. And later, if Labour Party decides they're inspired to join the coalition,
right,
they are very well welcome to join. That is why it's called a coalition. When they join the coalition, then they'll say our platform is ADC.
Right. Okay. Well.
I hope this is very clear.
I understand that, but let me.
I hope this is very clear, and it even sounds better that you go about in your PDP, keep calm. This elephant in the China workshop, let him finish destroying, go and move into APC, and then come and say, look, here we are for the coalition. That's PDP, go and take themselves. And Labour Party, for any reason, we don't want to take the risks of letting Tinubu win again. And we think it is safer to join this coalition. They are welcome.
Yeah. But
it's even more powerful.
Right. I agree. But
being in Labour Party or PDP now is really not anti-coalition.
But let me work on the premise of the point that you made earlier, which is that you are willing to work with the coalition.
Correct.
And that you are likely going to work with the coalition.
Correct.
Did you feel a bit strange being in the same room and professing to be in the same coalition with so many politicians who you were ranged against in 2023 and who you and Mr. Obi felt were a corrosive influence on this country?
Yes, it was simply unbelievable. Believe me, I'm still gasping for air. I mean, I remember, with due respect, I remember Nasiru Elrufai dancing his eyes around and saying, if the heavens will come down to earth, Bola Ahmed Tinubu must be sworn in as president. I remember that clearly.
I remember that as well.
And I remember him walking out of the Senate. And I remember them saying that, look, the same APC he did, they said that there's a security file on him. He can't be a minister. I also remember in less than a year later, he wants to kick out. I remember everything that's between Elrufai and so many other leaders that he now goes to kneel down and greet again. I'm gasping for air. I don't understand what is going on. There are people who have been in this government for 24 years. They've been out of it only 2 years and they are crying and shouting, we must throw this government out. I have been in parliament only 4 years and 8 months. And I'm as happy as I can be. I believe I can defeat President Tinubu very, very comfortably. I have never been in the executive, and so many things. I have never issued any government contract, unless if they want to lie at me. There's nothing. I take people to EFCC. They don't take me to EFCC. Yeah, but we're in the same room with people that I never imagined will be. And I doubt what people can do for power. This underscores why I say we should not be misled, consumed by this excitement.
Yeah.
Because as they say in English, when the chips are down and it's time to do primaries, what kind of primaries is Atiku going to do with an Amechi? You know how Atiku does primaries? Mercilessly. I remember those dollars flying. Well, we're in the same coalition, but in Port Harcourt, I remember the dollars flying. Remember, I'm with Atiku. Atiku, I'm with you. Please, if you're hearing me, we're in the same coalition. And then, what kind of primaries are they going to do? Am I going to deceive myself, okay, that all is going to be well in this ADC? The beginning of good governance if you run good primaries.
So what are you then hoping to get out of this new coalition in terms of political capital? Because you are a politician. I mean, are you just...
Can I stop you? Can I stop you?
Let me just make this
No,
point
I need to stop you.
Are you just going to sacrifice the millions of votes that you and Peter B got? I mean, to politicians who may not share your philosophy or that of the obedient movement?
Every 4 years, I save my leave allowances. At the end of those 4 years, I go to buy a certain nomination form. I am not a politician, and I'm saying it again in TV. I am not your typical Nigerian politician, but I do politics. For the sake of my country, I can go to war. What is there in doing politics? So I am not a politician. People have told me to stop saying it, but I'm saying it. I hate the lies that go around. I hate the deception and all those things that happen, because it is not me to do those kind of things. So your question, that's why I wanted to stop you. I am not a politician. Yeah, I do politics.
Right. But what I asked you is, I understand that. But when you go in to politics, which you're in, the assumption is that you're going in for a particular reason.
Yes.
And my question was, what are you hoping to get out of this new coalition in terms of political capital?
What I'm hoping to get is to get the leadership for Nigeria that will solve all our problems. Solve the problems of insecurity, be it anybody. I don't have to call names. I'm ready to support.
Right.
I'm ready to kill my ambition at any time. My ambition is Nigeria to be good.
But if the
and I can go back to the classroom.
Right.
If Buhari had provided good governance since then, I would never have bothered myself. If there are signs that Tinubu will ever practice what is good governance, but there is no way. The political capital I'm looking for is good governance to emerge.
Right.
Peace, prosperity, and security for Nigeria. If that is done, life is easier where I am in the classroom.
But obviously there's a route to get into
there is a route to get in it, and that route is terrible. That route is not good. That route cleans out any morality in most people that are not strong enough to protect themselves in it. You come out, go through terrible party process, terrible primaries, horrendously expensive general elections, okay? At the end of it all, instead of you being able to transform the system has transformed you. Don't say that I'm attacking one individual, please. What happened to Buhari? That they became so corrupt? It's because they allowed the political system to consume them. And then they became the typical corrupt leaders. Insecurity was promoted, profligacy, complacency in everything that you know. And again, what we're suffering today in Nigeria is you have the practitioners of insecurity, and then those are out there in the underworld. Then you have the actual, real terrorists and bandits out speaking in public. Whoever comes out to say after the Benue killings that this government has fought insecurity is a terrorist.
Right.
Whoever is saying that the government has fought insecurity in the Northwest is a bandit. While those who are actually doing the banditry are only bandit practitioners. Those who are killing out there are terror practitioners. How can you kill 200 people and no one has been arrested?
Well, they said they've arrested some people.
Before that, how many people were killed?
Well,
the ones in Plateau, have they arrested anyone?
Right.
The ones in Kebbi, have they arrested anyone?
But I just want to return
hundreds and thousands that have
I understand
been killed.
that because a lot of people are aware of what you're talking about.
Yes.
But the question is, how do you then hold that government to account and, if you like, get it out of office if you think they're not doing well? And that brings us back to the coalition.
Yes.
And my question is, in the circumstances that you find yourself in that coalition,
yes,
would you be supportive if Atiku Abubakar or Nasir El-Rufai or Rotimi Amechi or Peter Obi emerges as the presidential candidate? Or would you have some principles that you think some of them would violate and which you simply wouldn't support?
First of all, I need to see very clean, very transparent primaries taking place. I say two things. It needs to be clean, it needs to be transparent. Take place. Will that happen? I don't know. I'm a good team player. And at the end of the day, there's only so much you human can do. I was in Port Harcourt. I was the 12th aspirant in Port Harcourt. And I served as chairman of research and strategy in the PDP 2018-19. Credibly, I served. I was, because I didn't want a presidential contest coming from the north in 2023, I thought of contesting governorship until when I saw the kind of primaries that were to be held. And I pulled out. The next day, Peter Obi pulled out of PDP. That's what happened. So to answer your question, if I'm in the coalition and a candidate emerges, I will readily emerges based on the kind of acceptable practices that should happen to me. I will gladly work with that person. I will support that person.
And that person doesn't have to be Peter Obi, who you ran with in 2023.
It doesn't have to be. If Peter Obi is with me in Labour Party, we all decide to go back and stay back in Labour Party and contest, I'm with him by default. By default. If he contests in coalition and he wins it, I'll give him the support. It's led for him. I told him way back in I gave him 3 names. One of which is Nasir El-Rufai. That if you want to take this guy, from all indications, this is where he's coming. 2 years ago, I had predicted El-Rufai was headed this way. And there are many correct calculations that I did that have come true. Which I don't
when
have
you say El-Rufai,
energy.
you mean that Peter Obi is considering
No.
running
I'm saying
so
he will come into some form of a coalition.
Right.
And try to play the kind of role that he's playing today.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me. I mean, we're almost out of time, and we've gone beyond.
Yeah, I don't know how this conversation went.
We've gone beyond. I mean, we're almost at 40 minutes. Just very briefly, are you concerned that there are no serving governors from the PDP or Labour who have joined this coalition? I mean, Bala Mohammed or Sheyi Makinde or Peter Mba or Alex Oti, the governors of APGA or NNPP, none of them are in it. I mean, does that weaken that coalition?
It doesn't. What happened in 2022? First of all, what happened in 2022?
Just very briefly.
Yeah, very briefly.
There's another question I want to ask you
all right.
before we have to
These
go.
things do happen spontaneously. 1998, after Abacha's passing away, the formation of PDP and all those. 2022, May, when Peter Obi left and joined and Labour Party, and it happened, and all the things that happened. About the same is likely to happen again. And so you and I are speaking a bit too early.
Right.
And that is why maybe our conversation today has not been as smooth as, and because you interrupt a lot.
You said I interrupt. Well, you wanted a monologue, did you?
I wanted an analog.
You wanted a monologue, not a dialogue. But let me ask you this before we go.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can briefly comment on the resignation of Umar Ganduje as chairman of the APC and the rumors that are flying around about how stable the position of the Vice President Kashim Shettima is.
Wow, good questions. And I'll be quick.
Yeah.
As it says, now you see, now you don't. Now it's him, now it's not. Yesterday in the morning it was Ganduje, in the afternoon it wasn't him. Who knows? Tomorrow morning it could be Tinubu, in the afternoon it could be not. It could be me, it could be not. It could be you, it could be not. You see, maximum rulers, dictators, terror leaders, they are invincible to the last second. We have seen in history from 1997, the Suhartos, the Gaddafis, Bouteflikas, Ben Ali, Mubarak, al-Bashir, Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, the most recent one. So it could be, you see a flourishing, powerful president, I see a rigged leader. You see a burgeoning administration, I see a violated constitution. So in the morning, Ganduje was flouting his chairmanship. In the afternoon, he's gone. He's human, he's blown away. Even a president is not too much for this to happen to. So that's about him. About Shettima, I don't blame Tinubu. Because whoever knows what Shettima did and does will not even allow him last this long.
What does he do?
The airwaves cannot carry it. I'm telling you, the airwaves cannot carry it. And I know I'm speaking on TV. So Tinubu has tried keeping him this long. So even the consideration that he be dropped, I think Tinubu has tried for keeping him this long. But,
yeah, but you know that's a very pregnant statement you've just made.
It is pregnant. I wish I could say, but look.
So what's the point of bringing it up if you're not going to say it? It's not fair on him.
What people do for power is unbelievable. I am more than gasping for air to understand how certain things can give you power. It is not of this world. And it did happen. They do it. Somebody one day must come out and say, this is what politicians do for power.
Yeah, but you're saying things and insinuating things and suggesting things without any clarity, and that's not fair.
It is not fair because even saying it itself is even more unfair. It's even more drastic.
So why are you saying it?
Because it has to be said.
Right.
Do you understand? Some of the things, the more you see them, the less you understand. Why was it declared at 4 a.m.? Now let me answer your question.
You mean the election?
The election.
The election result.
On the 28th, Mahmoud Yakubu said he was adjourning till the next day. Next day, technically and legally speaking, is 9 a.m. And by 4 a.m., he sneaked and declared Tinubu a winner. What transpired in between? Well, who came, listen, you want me to say it? Yeah. Who came from one house in Asokoro to another house to say that it has to be now?
Well, I don't know. You answer that question.
Yeah, and what I'm telling you is that the airwaves cannot, it is so bad the airwaves cannot carry it.
So are you implying that
something happened that morning before 4 a.m.
Right.
That they said before these things finish at the Nigerian border.
And it was who did that? Because we're trying to understand the link between what you're saying and the thing you were saying about the vice president.
Listen, Tinubu has tried. Believe me, he has tried. For keeping this man this long and for even giving him the privilege of being replaced, I think it's good enough.
But your brother served in his office.
Do I care? And what happened when he served? He left.
Well, he eventually left, but I mean, he thought he was good enough to go in the first place.
And then he discovered he wasn't good enough, and he walked away. Look, Charles, in this world, there are things that you rather not talk about. because it's just too bad. This TV station is not a court of law. I know what insinuations are. I know what allegations are. I'm not crazy. I'm not insane. And I know what I'm saying, that what people do for power is unspeakable. And these things have to stop.
Right.
These things, why are we getting everything wrong in Nigeria? Why can't our leaders perform? Because of what people do for power. To get power, everything, and the difference between us losers and some winners is because there are certain things we cannot do. There are certain lines we cannot cross. But others will say, whatever there is to do, do it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree with you that there is something very shady and dodgy about Nigerian politics, and that if you want to be victorious, you do a lot of strange things. However, that is not an indictment on the vice president of this country, and it's not fair on him for things to be suggested or insinuated about him without clarity.
It's better not that clarity, believe me. Better not that clarity.
Okay, well, let's leave it there, shall we?
Please do.
On that note, I want to say thank you very much.
My pleasure.
It's always good to talk with you. You're very forthright, and you're very, very honest with your feelings, and I think people appreciate that.
So guys, I don't know what you make of this video. Datti Ahmed has expressed concern, fear over Peter Obi in the coalition, considering the people who are spearheading this new party or new coalition, you know, that whether they are going to allow Peter Obi emerge as the candidate is the question. Because if they allow Peter Obi to be there, and then Peter Obi's followers help to advertise ADC only for Peter Obi not to be the flag bearer, I think it's really going to hurt. So I'm going to advise obedience. See, keep your support for the ADC in your pockets. Let's concentrate in advertising Peter Obi. Keep your adverts of the ADC in your pocket. Let's wait until Peter Obi is announced the flag bearer of this coalition, because we cannot advertise ADC only for them to tell us tomorrow that Atiku won majority of the vote, because Atiku can spend in dollars to get that position. Peter Obi doesn't give a dime. And we know what is obtainable in Nigeria. The politicians are desperate for money. They are hungry for money. People will collect money and vote for Atiku, and they will tell obedience to come and support Atiku. You know what that means. So I want to urge obedience. Put your support of the ADC in your pocket for now, until the primary holds and Peter Obi emerges as the flag bearer. Then we know who we are supporting. Because don't use your energy to advertise ADC only for them to tell you that Peter Obi wasn't able to clinch the ticket of the party or of the coalition. And then tomorrow they will tell us the election was free and fair. We know how powerful Atiku is when it comes to, you know, using money to influence primaries. You know, Atiku is big on that. So let's not take it away from him. He's general in the political space in Nigeria. It's only Peter Obi we know that doesn't give shish. So I'm standing with Datti Ahmed. Datti Ahmed said he is having concern if they are going to give Peter Obi that ticket. And don't ignore Datti Ahmed's concern. So for me, I will say obedience. Let's put pressure on INEC to register other parties. Let's put pressure on INEC to register other parties. Let's put pressure on the National Assembly to ensure that the electoral reform happens. These are the areas we have to do something if we really want to see that change happen. See, Atiku wants to be president at all costs. We know that. And they want to take advantage of Peter Obi's followership. See, Festus Keyamo said it. He said it, but don't just take it as Festus Keyamo's words. Look deep into it. I think there are elements of truth in it. So we want to urge the ADC. Obedience are willing to support you guys. Let the primary hold. Let whosoever is emerging emerge fast. Let's know who is running and who is not running. Let's know if we are to support or if we are not to support. There is no two ways about it. I'm just going to allow you to drop your thoughts in the comment section below. But for me, that's my take. Anyway, let's quickly take a look at this headline from Vanguard's newspaper that says ADC coalition will only take Nigeria backwards. That's coming from the presidency. Now, Nigerians have reacted. I'm just going to take you through some of the reactions coming from Nigerians. So this person says, yes, let the coalition take us backward to 2015. APC has done more damage than good. This person says, cry more. Tinubu must go. Peter Obi is coming. Cry more. Tinubu must go. Peter Obi is coming. So, as it is now, we seriously want to go back to 1999. Take us back to 1999. This person said the presidency should be ashamed of themselves. They are the worst thing that befell Nigeria. They should bury their head in the gutter. Another person said that's ironic coming from the presidency under whose watch Nigeria has sunk deeper into debt, insecurity, poverty. If anyone has taken a country backward, it's them. It's them that has taken this country backward. We welcome this coalition. Give us Peter Obi. Give us Peter Obi. ADC. Give us Peter Obi. This person says fake media paid has started to jobs, but ADC we move. Nigerians forward. Big shame to fake news. Why is APC shaking? No problem. We want to go back to 2014. That was before these people came in. Now, can we go back to this place? This is where during Buhari's time, they said $1 is 216 naira to $1. Okay, it's time to speak out. Change. So they promised they were going to make $1 to be 216, but you know where the dollar is today. This other person say that would be a strong competition as the presidency is already doing that. Imagine the first lady, a person not known with any industry, dashing 1 billion billion of naira to Nigerian victims with money that should have been used to purchase military hardware for them to defend Nigerians. See, Tinubu's wife dashed 1 billion naira, and she said it's not coming from the federal government cover. We don't know where she got the money from. That's the country we are living in, honestly. Anyway, guys, there are a lot of reactions here. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. Let me actually know what you think. Should Peter Obi really be in this coalition? Do you believe that this coalition is going to favor Peter Obi? What are the plans for the primaries? When are the primaries going to hold? Is Atiku? What was the agreement? What was the agreement? Is Peter Obi accepting to run primaries? If Peter Obi went into this coalition, then he wants to run primaries. I think you should be concerned because Peter Obi doing primaries, Atiku will eventually emerge because Atiku will use money. Peter Obi will not want to pay. So what do you expect from Nigerian politicians? They will collect money and give it to the highest bidder. So I think let's be concerned about this coalition. That's my take. I love the coalition if Peter Obi emerges. We will not support the coalition if Peter Obi does not emerge. That's my message. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others. And drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.